Stop eating these 9 foods and see a 54% reduction in prostate size. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode dedicated to your wellness. Today, we want to explore together a topic that could revolutionize your understanding of men's health. Have you ever thought that some foods you consume daily could negatively influence your prostate health? What we're about to reveal might surprise you. Research suggests that eliminating certain foods from your diet could contribute to a reduction in prostate size of up to 54%. That's truly a remarkable finding that deserves your attention and could radically change your dietary approach. In this comprehensive content, we'll present 9 food categories that, according to the most recent scientific studies, could be directly linked to prostate enlargement and related disorders. We're not talking about passing fads or miracle solutions lacking scientific foundation, but rather a deeper and more accurate understanding of how certain foods can generate complex inflammatory processes, significant alterations in hormonal balance, and other physiological dynamics that could promote prostatic hypertrophy over time. Our journey through these problematic foods begins with analyzing the 9th item on our list: deli meats and processed meats of all types. These products, which include a wide range of options like crispy bacon, hot dogs, raw and cooked ham, mortadella, salami, and other traditional cold cuts, represent a constant and established presence on many American tables. But they harbor significant potential health risks that are often underestimated or completely ignored. Processed meats and deli products are typically subjected to industrial treatments with chemical preservatives like nitrates, nitrites, and other synthetic additives specifically designed to increase their shelf life and intensify their flavor through artificial processes. Unfortunately, these chemical preservatives can generate potentially harmful and toxic molecules during cooking or during the complex digestive processes of our body, triggering dangerous chronic inflammatory phenomena that persist over time. Persistent and prolonged inflammation represents a triggering factor widely recognized by the scientific community for numerous degenerative and chronic diseases, including specifically those that directly affect the prostate gland and surrounding tissues. These industrial products also present particularly high concentrations of sodium and poor quality fats, significantly amplifying their negative and harmful effect on the overall well-being of the body. Drastically limiting or completely excluding these foods from your daily dietary routine can significantly contribute to decreasing the body's chronic inflammatory reaction and potentially substantially reduce the factors that favor and fuel pathological prostate enlargement. We continue our detailed analysis with examining the 8th element of our ranking: dairy products characterized by high fat content. This specific category includes whole milk, heavy cream, aged and matured cheeses, plus some yogurts particularly rich in saturated fats. These foods, while offering intense, creamy, and particularly satisfying flavors for the palate, contain truly significant amounts of natural hormones and fatty substances that could play a determining and concerning role in the onset of serious prostate problems. The most recent and comprehensive epidemiological studies have highlighted a possible direct and concerning correlation between abundant and regular consumption of high-fat dairy products and the measurable increase in insulin-like growth factor levels in the body, biologically active elements that could stimulate excessive and uncontrolled cellular proliferation at the prostate level, promoting gland enlargement. The high concentration of saturated fats naturally present in these products can also fuel and maintain active systemic inflammatory processes that, if constantly maintained over time without interruption, progressively contribute to pathological thickening of prostate tissues and other related health complications of various nature and severity. Before continuing with our in-depth analysis, we kindly ask you to actively support our scientific outreach work by subscribing for free to our channel, leaving a like if you find this research-based information useful and interesting, and activating the notification bell so you absolutely don't miss our upcoming exclusive content dedicated to natural wellness and preventive health. In seventh place of our ranking, we find dark red-colored meats and their problems. Beef, lamb, pork, and other similar meats often represent undisputed and central protagonists of our daily menus and culinary traditions. However, they can hide significant and underestimated dangers for long-term prostate wellness. These specific types of meat are distinctively characterized by a particularly high and concentrated content of saturated fats, lipid elements that can stimulate and amplify widespread and systemic inflammatory processes in the body. Furthermore, traditional high-temperature cooking methods, such as charcoal grilling, frying in boiling oil, or cooking in very hot pans, can give rise to potentially harmful and carcinogenic chemical compounds, including the dreaded heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These aggressive chemical substances have been scientifically associated with cellular oxidative stress and direct DNA cellular damage, complex biological mechanisms that could significantly facilitate the initial development and progressive evolution of prostate disorders of various severity. Diets characterized by abundant and regular consumption of red meat have also been correlated through longitudinal studies to significant perturbations of the endocrine hormonal balance, with additional and cumulative consequences on prostate health over time. Strategically preferring leaner and less fatty cuts, consciously moderating overall consumption, or gradually substituting these meats with healthier protein alternatives like fatty fish, organic poultry, or complete plant proteins can represent a particularly effective preventive strategy to concretely reduce the risk of pathological prostate enlargement. The sixth critical element of our detailed list concerns all those foods regularly subjected to industrial or home frying processes. This food category comprises a vast range of appetizing products, from classic and irresistible French fries to golden onion rings, from breaded and fried chicken to traditionally fried sweets like donuts. Although these foods often represent irresistible and satisfying comfort food for many people, they involve truly significant and often underestimated compromises for the body's overall health. During the complex industrial or home high-temperature frying process, foods are completely immersed in oils characterized by particularly high concentrations of artificial trans fats and natural saturated fats. These specific types of lipids are widely recognized by scientific literature for their demonstrated ability to trigger and maintain active acute and chronic inflammatory reactions in the human body. When systemic inflammation persists uncontrollably over time without adequate corrective interventions, it is directly linked by experts to various chronic and degenerative pathological conditions, including specifically those that directly affect the prostate and surrounding tissues. The prolonged high-temperature cooking process itself can also lead to spontaneous formation of advanced glycation, end products, and other toxic chemical compounds, which further intensify and amplify cellular oxidative stress and systemic inflammation. Consciously reducing regular consumption of fried foods and methodically privileging decidedly healthier and more respectful cooking methods like gentle steam cooking, oil-free grilling, or traditional oven baking can significantly and measurably decrease daily exposure to these potentially harmful substances for the body. In fifth place of our scientific ranking, we find industrial beverages rich in artificially added sugars. This problematic category includes a wide range of commercial products like colored sodas, stimulating energy drinks, industrially sweetened teas, and many commercial fruit juices characterized by truly high concentrations of artificial sugars and synthetic syrups. These beverages represent an extremely important source of calories completely devoid of real nutritional value and can cause sudden and dangerous blood sugar spikes. The extremely high content of simple and complex sugars not only directly promotes progressive body weight accumulation and abdominal obesity, but also generates significant and lasting perturbations in circulating insulin levels, triggering a true cascade of complex and interconnected metabolic alterations. Body overweight and pathological insulin resistance have been closely correlated through comprehensive research to systemic hormonal imbalances that can negatively and significantly influence long-term prostate health. Sugary beverages can also actively contribute to the development and maintenance of systemic chronic inflammation, representing an additional concrete and measurable risk factor for progressive prostate enlargement. When the body is constantly and continuously engaged in the complex metabolic management of these repeated glycemic spikes, it struggles enormously to maintain fundamental metabolic balance, potentially and dangerously opening the path to various chronic health disorders of different nature. The fourth problematic element of our detailed ranking specifically concerns carbohydrates subjected to intensive industrial refining processes. These foods, subjected to particularly aggressive and denaturing industrial processing, include commercial white bread, industrial baked goods, polished rice, and numerous packaged commercial snacks. Unlike natural and unprocessed whole grains, industrially refined carbohydrates have been systematically stripped of fundamental nutrients, essential vitamins, important minerals, and natural fibers during complex mechanical and chemical processing procedures. This significant nutritional deficiency of natural fibers means that these processed foods cause rapid and dramatic increases in blood sugar levels, followed by equally abrupt and destabilizing energy crashes, putting the body's delicate insulin regulation mechanisms under continuous and harmful stress. Over time, these continuous and repeated glycemic oscillations can progressively contribute to establishing systemic chronic inflammation and significant hormonal imbalances, both particularly deleterious and harmful for long-term prostate health. The accelerated and unnatural digestion of refined carbohydrates also causes an extremely short-lived and unsatisfying sense of satiety, inevitably promoting excessive, compulsive eating and consequent progressive weight gain, further and significantly aggravating the concrete risk of pathological prostate hypertrophy. Consciously opting for organic whole grains and minimally processed carbohydrates can guarantee a much more gradual, constant, and physiologically appropriate energy release. In third place of our comprehensive scientific analysis, we find synthetic chemical sweeteners. Often aggressively promoted by the food industry as the ideal and safe alternative to traditional sugar, these artificial and synthetic compounds are massively present in many commercial diet products and industrial snacks, labeled as sugar-free or no sugar added. However, behind their enticing commercial promise of reduced caloric intake lie potential and serious long-term health problems that are often minimized or completely ignored. The most recent and comprehensive scientific research has clearly indicated that artificial sweeteners can significantly interfere with the body's natural and delicate ability to autonomously regulate insulin, causing progressive and cumulative metabolic perturbations over time. Furthermore, these chemical additives can profoundly alter the balance of beneficial intestinal microflora, a fundamental biological ecosystem for proper digestion, nutrient absorption, and correct immune system functioning. When the intestinal ecosystem becomes compromised and imbalanced, it can easily trigger systemic inflammatory responses that have been scientifically linked to significant hormonal imbalances, a biological factor that could concretely contribute to the progressive development of prostate problems of varying severity. Seriously considering natural alternatives like organic stevia or consciously reducing overall use of artificial sweeteners can substantially contribute to maintaining a more balanced and physiologically appropriate digestive environment. The second critical element of our scientific list concerns alcoholic beverages of all types and alcohol content. Although moderate and occasional alcohol consumption may appear relatively harmless for many people, excessive, regular, or daily intake can have truly significant and lasting repercussions on the body's overall health, including specifically prostate wellness and related tissues. Alcohol can profoundly disturb the body's delicate hormonal balance, leading to excessive and uncontrolled production or inefficient and problematic metabolism of hormones crucial for optimal long-term prostate health maintenance. Beyond direct hormonal disturbances, regular alcohol consumption has been clearly associated through longitudinal studies with a measurable increase in systemic inflammation levels and cellular oxidative stress, both biological factors that can concretely promote progressive prostate enlargement over time. It's particularly important to emphasize that alcohol can significantly compromise liver functionality and, considering that the liver is biologically responsible for complex detoxification processes and systemic hormonal regulation, any functional overload of this vital organ can have direct and indirect consequences on overall prostate health. Finally, we arrive at the absolute first place of our scientific ranking: foods characterized by extremely high concentrations of saturated fats, particularly those typical and representative of industrial fast food and packaged fried commercial snacks. These industrial products are notoriously and systematically rich in animal-derived saturated fats and artificial trans fats, lipid ingredients widely recognized by the international scientific community for their demonstrated ability to trigger and maintain active chronic systemic inflammation in the human body. A diet characterized by abundant and regular consumption of these problematic fats not only actively promotes chronic inflammation, but also profoundly alters the normal and delicate endocrine hormonal regulation mechanisms, absolutely essential for optimal long-term prostate health maintenance. The problem is significantly amplified by the fact that these industrial products are often scientifically formulated to be hyperpalatable and almost irresistible, inevitably leading to excessive, compulsive consumption and consequent progressive body weight gain. Obesity represents in itself an extremely significant and documented risk factor for various chronic health problems, including specifically pathological prostate enlargement. Furthermore, these industrial foods are generally extremely poor in essential nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, but simultaneously extremely rich in chemical additives, synthetic preservatives, and artificial colorings, further and significantly aggravating their overall negative impact on body health. Here, then, is our comprehensive scientific analysis of 9 strategic dietary changes that could truly significantly contribute to optimal wellness of your prostate and concrete improvement of your overall daily life quality. Always remember that it's absolutely not about seeking absolute perfection in nutrition, but about making gradual, conscious, and sustainable progress over time. Strategically implementing these nutritional considerations into your daily dietary routine, you concretely offer your body the best possible opportunities to reduce systemic inflammation, rebalance hormonal levels, and effectively protect long-term prostate health. Small daily modifications, seemingly insignificant, can translate into truly significant and measurable benefits for your future overall well-being. Always maintain a proactive and conscious approach. Let yourself be guided by scientific knowledge And remember that concretely investing in your health always represents the wisest and most forward-thinking choice you can make. Your body will surely thank you for the attention and care you dedicate to it today. I would love to hear what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any content, and thanks for watching this video.